down $1,600, is there any advance at $1,600? On January 31st, Swann Galleries is conducting our annual winter auction of vintage posters. This year, the auction contains many different categories of fabulous images, including Hebraica and Judaica, ski posters, Mather work incentive posters, early aviation and airline posters, circus and magic posters, and finally, a small but select group of Olympic and sports posters. Over the last 10 years, ski posters have really become a perennial favorite among collectors and poster enthusiasts, and so we've always included a large selection of them in our winter poster auction, and this year is no exception. We're very pleased to offer over 60 really fantastic ski posters, both from America and from Europe. The first lot I'd like to look at today is lot number 94. It's an American poster by one of the great European avant-garde artists, Herbert Bayer. Last year, in February of 2007, we had a Herbert Bayer poster on the cover of our catalog. It was a Herbert Bayer poster we'd never seen before. It was something we were very excited to be able to offer. And this year, we found another previously undocumented Herbert Bayer poster. This is for the 1950 World Ski Championships in Lake Placid and Aspen, Colorado. Herbert Bayer was a European avant-garde artist who came to America right before the Second World War and actually settled in Aspen. And he brings his European design sensibility with him to the New World and was able to work on such great posters as this one, which really reflects the speed of the skier, it reflects the steepness of the mountain, and it reflects the glory of the scenery within which all of these alpine events take place. Amongst the things that Herbert Bayer was really known for was his ability to use photo montage. And while this isn't a photo montage poster, if you look at the background, if you see the towering Rocky Mountains in the back, it almost has a photographic quality. So he's able to lend the photo montage concept to a purely graphic poster, and the result is really startling. But the whole image itself exudes speed, not just from the skier zooming down the hill, but if you look at the typography on the bottom, the typography is angled along the same diagonal that the skier is, again lending this further element of speed and this further element of a skier whooshing down the mountain. Lot 102 is Dwight Shepler's very famous and much beloved poster for Sun Valley, showing the roundhouse on Baldy Mountain, the mid-mountain restaurant. We've offered this poster several times in the past, and it's not unfamiliar to people who spend a lot of time around ski posters. However, this is a very unusual variant. In fact, it's the only time I have ever come across this poster where it has the imprint of a railroad across the bottom. Now, people who are familiar with the history of Sun Valley realize that it was a resort that was built by the Union Pacific Railroad as an attempt to get people to ride their trains out west. However, while there are some Sun Valley posters that bear the Union Pacific imprint, this poster has never appeared with that particular imprint. And in fact, in this case, it doesn't even bear the Union Pacific imprint, it bears the Chicago and Northwestern Line imprint. So not only is this a great ski poster, it's also a poster that sheds a lot of light on the history of the great train companies in America and how they operated. Basically, if anybody from Chicago wanted to go skiing, they would have to take the Chicago and Northwestern Line to Omaha, Nebraska, where they would switch to the Union Pacific trains to go the rest of the way. So this was obviously a poster that was hung in a Chicago train office or in a Chicago travel agency. And again, while the image itself is not rare, the imprint is startlingly rare, and it makes this an even more special version of a very special poster. In addition to Lot 102, there's a fair few other Sun Valley posters in the sale. Every year they've proved to be very popular, and we always try to include as many of them as we can. Another niche within the ski poster collectible field that's always been very popular are posters advertising the Dartmouth Winter Carnival. And this year we have 7 great examples showing mostly early Dartmouth Winter Carnival images, which I'm sure will excite collectors as they always have done. For several of our general auctions now in a row, we've been very privileged to have access to a large collection of rare Mather work incentive posters. The Mather work incentive posters were done in the 1920s, produced in Chicago, intended to be hung in factories, intending to be hung in workplaces, and as the title, work incentive, implies, they were meant to encourage workers to be more productive, to encourage workers not to steal, to encourage workers not to gossip. They were all meant to make business flow more smoothly and more productively and more efficiently. 80 years removed, the messages they're trying to convey seem a little corny, seem a little tongue-in-cheek, seem downright humorous, but in fact at the time they were taken very seriously, and they really are a wonderful melding of typography, of art, and of message. In a way, they're a unique American graphic art form. Lot 124 is just one of these posters, a fantastic combination of message and graphics. Rats carry off the dollars. With rats scurrying out of the city, each one of them with a dollar sign in their mouth. If you read the text, in a way it's almost nonsensical. Rats carry off the dollars. Wasted materials are the rats of business. Don't feed the rats. So does that mean don't feed the wasted materials? It's a little strange, but somehow the message gets across in a frankly irresistible way. Combining, at least contemporarily, combining humor with a message, it really delivers a fantastic punch. Lot 125 is definitely my favorite poster in the entire sale. In fact, we used it as the postcard announcing this auction, which we sent to thousands and thousands of our customers around the world. The message is gleefully enjoyable. Be a tightwad, and it shows a successful businessman sitting on a bag of money. The rest of the message, as seems to be usual with these posters, is a little bit garbled. Keep the wad. Loose spenders are always in tight corners. Save your surplus. Own something. It's almost as if 5 or 6 different copywriters worked on this and they all inserted their little message there without actually unifying it to a whole. But that said, the comedy value of this poster, and I don't at all say that in a negative way, the comedy value of this poster is so high that I really expect a lot of people to be competing for it, which is actually very funny because anybody who spends a lot of money on this poster won't in fact be obeying the message by being a tightwad. They will be the opposite. The successful buyer of this poster will be a very loose wad, but I think they'll definitely enjoy their purchase. Lot 128, I'm glad to work with that man, is another great example of Mather posters. And if you're wondering what it is about these images that attract people, well, maybe the previous item that we looked at would be attractive to somebody who really considers themselves to be safe and careful with their money. But in the case of Lot 128, I'd like to own this poster. I'd like to put it up in my office to show myself that all of my employees are glad to work with me. My point being that these posters mean different things to different people. Some people really enjoy the message. Some people really enjoy the graphics. Some people find humor and meaning in these posters in a manner that they were never intended to convey in the first place. They really are universally appealing, and in some cases, much more specifically so.